Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and what I've got today is what I think is my favourite padlock. This is an old Squire Defiant. I honestly don't know how old it is, but I'm guessing it's old. It feels old. It's got a fantastic patina to it. Quite a bit of history about the lock on the back. It's just very tactile, really heavy. That is a heavy lock, and whilst I can pick it in my hand, I'm not going to because it's too heavy and I get really achy wrists if I do that. So I'm going to pick it in a vise. But before I do, a little bit about the lock, because if you don't do your research on some locks, you can find yourself getting a bit frustrated, as this lock will do to you. A couple of things to note. It's a 6-lever lock, but you don't pick all 6 levers. The 4th lever in the lock provides spring tension to the shackle, which means if you want to pick, you've got to pick the front 3 levers, you've got to dip under the 4th lever and then pick the back 2 levers, which makes life a little fiddly. And it's got another little nasty surprise. This is the key to it. And if I put it in here, open the lock up, works beautifully. And you'll notice when I unlock it, watch the top of the shackle, lifts up. That's the spring lever inside the shackle forcing the hasp up. So what's the other surprise? The other surprise is actually to do with the key. Most padlocks of this kind have a hole in the back. Let me see if I can show you one. There you go. This is a Squire 660. If you look in the back, it's got a hole. And if I had a key for this Squire, the nose of the key would push right through the back of a lock. That sort of acts as like a mounting point, and it allows the key to swivel smoothly. That first bar on the key is what throws the bolt. That's the thing that engages with the bolt and drives the lock round. And this is a standard UK lockpicker's tension wrench for this kind of lock. And you'll notice straight away, or hopefully you notice straight away when you're trying to do this, that the nose on this one is much longer. If I can get the key to line up with it, much longer than the nose on the actual key. Now, because there's no hole in the back of a lock, this long nose can't push right the way through the lock, which means the tensioning post, which is meant to engage the bolt, doesn't. It stands away from the bolt and actually hits, I think it's this one so far out, it hits lever 5, which is no good at all. You can't open a lock if you're tensioning on one of the levers rather than the bolt. Which means I either had to cut this tool down, which I didn't want to do because I quite like it is, and there's a chance I'll botch it, or I've got to make a tool. I did make a tool out of a file down key originally. You can take off a bitting off of another key, just keep the post, but actually it wasn't strong enough, and it snapped after the first time I got the lock open. So I ended up making a tensioner out of an old cotter pin, ground down the flat here, drilled and tapped a 2.5mm thread, and basically got a sacrificial grub screw. So I can now replace the tensioning post on this tensioner if I bend it or break it. And this tensions this lock, and actually it also tensions a Chubb Battleship, an absolute treat. And the Chubb Battleship has the same challenge as this one, where it doesn't have a hole through the back of the lock. Okay, so let's see what it takes to pick it. And this one, I find it works better if I don't use a flat wire. It likes a curved wire, this one, and it's got a moderate tension. I'm just picking the front 3 levers first of all. I've got a bit of core movement there. And the feedback on this lock is really quite dull. because it's old and it's got oil and grease and stuff inside it, so it makes it a little bit more awkward. Right, so I've just dipped under lever 4 on lever 5. Lever 6 produces a little bit more core movement. I think we might be close now. Oh, came off of one of the levers. I do find I have to give this lock several passes to get it open. Everything feels like it's starting to bind quite tightly now. Normally a sign that, there you go. Opened up a treat. Right. It's a really lovely, lovely lock. It's a joy to pick, if I'm honest. And if you can find one for a reasonable price, it'd be a nice thing to get for your collection, because they're not that hard to pick as long as you can sort of make the right tool and just remember you've got to duck under lever number 4. Hope you enjoyed that. Good luck with your picking and see you soon.